welcome to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And listen, we here tonight is at the final episode of season 4. Let me tell you, season 4, we have done some new and uplifting things. I'm telling you, and there's more to come. There's more to come. But first, before we get into this, we're going to end our season with my special guest here, Miss JenFer Ferguson, in her role as a storyteller, a professional storyteller. And she's going to come to us tonight sharing all about her gift. You all are even going to be in a treat tonight to hear her amazing storytelling, and also come up with some ideas on how to support her as well, because she has some things that's coming up. And I just want to say welcome, JenFer. Thank you so much for saying yes to come here to Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul.
Thank you very much, and good evening to you, Madam Host, Michelle. Yes, there is power in the word yes, and there is power in the word no. And I chose to enhance my power this evening by saying yes when you extended the invitation. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you.
And I'm going to share with the audience how we met. I always say that no instance is always followed and ordained by God. Now, I met this wonderful lady from another mutual friend of ours, Miss Lakeisha McGanny Osai, at her Wrapped in Wellness. She was one of the panel speakers as well as myself. And when she walked into the room, we just collided and we were just talking, and she has a powerful story that really did my heart and soul really good. It did everybody. It actually shifted the room. It actually broke up some things for people in their experience with you. And I want the audience to take listen and take heed of what she has to say tonight. So JenFer, can you share just a little tad bit of who you are and how did you get into this role of storytelling?
Well, I am originally from the Twin Island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm a Caribbean girl all the way. And I believe that storytelling is in my DNA. From the music, we call the music calypso music, soca music. It's all about storytelling. The poetry, everything, the steel pan, everything is all about storytelling. So I truly believe that storytelling is in my DNA. But each and every one of us, we have a story. Our lives are made up of stories. Each waking moment that we have is a new chapter, a new verse, a new story. But so many of us choose not to share our story because, and I felt that nobody would want to hear my story. But when things are going great, we are happy and excited to tell about that. But even in those moments of pain, stories are birthed. And thanks to the COVID pandemic, the pandemic is what really brought me out front. Now, let me say I am a divorced mother, an adult daughter, and we migrated to the United States November of 1988. So imagine all of those stories that I have to share and tell from 1988 to now, and even prior to me migrating to the United States. So it's a beautiful journey. Yes, the journey was not always ice cream and cake and cookies. There was some pain, some betrayal, some hurt. There are some scars still. But again, thanks to the pandemic, it gave me the space and the opportunity and the permission to be transparent, to be vulnerable. So I no longer have to show up and introduce my representative. I can show up now as who I am. I can show up as myself. If there is no seat at the table, I can bring my seat and join the discussion at the table, because what I have to say is important. It's just as important as what you have to say. And that's who I am. I'm still fully employed. I've been on my job as an administrative assistant for 24 years. And sadly, but true, for 2 decades, my coworkers didn't know who I am. I became myself from 5:01 p.m. once I walked out that door. That's not a healthy way to live. But because of what I had experienced on the job, I decided to put this wall up. I'm going to be polite, I'll be cordial, but you're not going to get past who I really am. And now I am free. I am free. And again, I have to say, for me, the pandemic season, and we are still in that season, was my awakening. It was me coming out and being myself. So also, I am a Toastmaster. I don't know if you're familiar with Toastmasters International. So that's a platform for the last 21 years that I have the opportunity for public speaking and leadership. But it's not every audience that you can share your story with. So as we fast forward, during the pandemic, I experienced 8 dark months. The word depression was not in my mind at all. But I would break out in these bouts of just tears and really sobbing, and everything in my past started resurfacing. Couldn't understand, but yet still I was functioning. I guess this is what they describe as a functional alcoholic. I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was functioning. I was still doing my work because we were teleworking. And then I call her one of my companions on the journey. She told me, she says, I don't want to tell you what I think it is because I'm not a professional, but I suggest you speak to your doctor. And I did that. And fast forward, I am working with a therapist. It was one of the best decisions that I have made. One of the best decisions. I heard recently a pastor was preaching and she said, Jesus and therapy equals healing. So I am on that healing path now. And for a lot of us, including myself, we live on the surface. We do not want to go below that surface. In other words, like the song, we don't want to look at the man or the woman in the mirror because half the times we don't like what we are seeing. But we are not taking the time, we're not giving ourselves permission to really deal with what is under there. So we show up and we are so off balance. We show up as hosts, we show up as speakers, storytellers, as first ladies, as wives, as we show up, but it's not really us. And then a shift happens and there's an outburst. And Michelle, you may be saying, but I didn't say anything for her to behave like that. And my behavior, my outburst has nothing to do with you. It has to do with me.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
now I am taking the time to put in the work. So now I can be a storyteller, peel off all the layers, dig deep down and bring up. Yes, yes, it takes regurgitating. It takes vomiting those things, facing them head on so that my healing could continue. I'm in a great place right now. I don't know if it would have happened at the time it happened if it were not for this pandemic season.
I thank you, Jennifer, for sharing that and being transparent with that because, as you know, this month ending, this month is Mental Health
Mental health.
Awareness Month. And I thank you for putting that plug in because, again, we're not saying, I talked about this out last week on the show last week. We're not saying that, the church cannot help, but there are also, you said the correct two things. Jesus and the therapist both go together. Because I tell people, I said this earlier, if you got cardiology, you go to the cardiologist for a heart problem, right? You go to an endocrinologist if you have diabetes. You go to a chiropractor to get those kinks out. You go to a dentist, orthodontist for to do things for your teeth. Why not your brain has something? Because again,
Absolutely.
that's the big, powerful piece to everything. So when you're not feeling well, and that's where I think a lot of people put in a lot of assumptions in, because when people not feeling well, they assume that it's for them, but no, necessarily it could be
Yes.
that person, what's going on within to them. And the
Absolutely.
second thing that I love that you shared too, just a few minutes ago, when you said we see the surface, but we don't underline and get in the root of the problem. And that's where we have to go dig deep, is inside the root. And your powerful tool, and the powerful tool that I witnessed, and I'm telling you, audience, what I witnessed with her was very phenomenal. I mean, she shared it, boom, and I'm telling you, it was a couple ladies who got healing in that purpose, and how she broke it out. She broke it out right smooth with her Caribbean accent. She broke it out really smooth. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back because I want you guys to hear more from my guest, Miss JenFer. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And today I am here with my lovely guest, Miss JenFer C. Ferguson, who is a very well-rounded storyteller. So you're actually gonna get in the midst of hearing some things about what she does here in a second. So, JenFer, you mentioned before we took the break, you mentioned about the realm of having um, the role of when we always want to tell the good news, right? So when you sharing a story, is it always best to also share the negative things and the reason why?
For me, again, I truly believe that this is a gift that I got. This is where my ministry comes in. Each of us called for a different purpose. So you have to know, sometimes you know your audience and sometimes you don't know your audience. In January, I didn't know anyone else except the person who invited me, who hosted the event. Yes, there was trepidation whether or not I should really be, but again, the whole weekend was about wellness. Sick people don't go to the people who are healthy, they don't come to the well. If we go back to the story of the Samaritan woman, the woman at the well, she chose that particular time of the day to come because she knew that she's talked about. She knew that she was not liked by the people who, if you want to call it her villagers. So she chose the hot sun, the hottest time of the day, and with the hope that nobody else will be there. I can sneak in, get my water, fill up my water from the well, and I can go home. Because she was living in shame, in pain, in hurt, in sadness, and she knew that everyone else knew. And even those who did not know, she did not want to run into them. So that's what she did. For me, I tell my story, but I also, as I said, you don't always know your audience. The reason for me sharing my story is for me to connect with my audience. Not that I just want to come and dump on you. I want to connect with you. And I would connect with you if What I'm talking about is to inspire you, to motivate you, to add humor to you, or to educate you. I try to fit it into one of those four categories. And then I deliver. I tell you who I am, but I also tell you the pluses also. I don't also only give you the pain and the suffering. But truth be told, each one of us need healing. We may not admit it, but you have to have some tough skin because sometimes you are judged, you are scorned, you are shunned, depending on what you share and how others receive it. And as you witnessed in January, when I shared, there were women and men who identified that my story is also their story, and they thanked me for sharing it.
That is absolutely true. So, in speaking of your story, because I'm gonna let you go ahead. So, audience, I want you to thoroughly pay attention and listen. And in JenFer here telling her story, if this is connecting somehow with you, I want you to comment, I'm connected. This is connected to me. So, JenFer, lead away in your story.
Should I begin with Act 1, Scene 2, or Act 1, Scene 1? There are so many different levels of my story. And as I said, I'm here almost 35 years in the country as an immigrant. And for some people, I'm still not accepted because I speak with an accent. You see the here, and I'm referred to as one of them. But until you walk in somebody's journey, you won't know their story. If I don't tell you my story, you won't know. But I thank God that I can show up now looking like this and not looking like what I went through. And that's only because of His grace and His mercy. Some women are still struggling from abuse, whether it was physical, verbal, psychological, sexual, some form of abuse. But when we don't deal with the pain, for those 8 months, those things that were resurfacing for me, I thought I already tucked those things away in a box, never to be opened. In my mind, that's my past. But there was so much unfinished business, and there still is, because the residue shows up, and it shows up in different ways. It shows up. So I had to be willing to lay it all there, put it out there, and then get the help that is needed. Now, I'm not an expert on healing. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just an expert on myself because I know my story. You may think you know my story, or you may have calculated or fabricated a story about me. But that's not my story. My story is my story, and you need to allow me to tell my story. Would everyone embrace my story? No. Some people cannot relate to it because maybe they have not been through anything traumatic in their lives. I've had experiences where after my presentation, I could not understand why a particular individual was so angry with me. And then one day someone else took me aside and told me, she said, every time you share, you are really telling her story, but you don't know it's her story that you're telling. And this is why I believe that our stories connect us. If it does not connect you with me directly, Michelle, you would know of somebody in a similar situation like me. You would know of someone who was physically abused. You would know of someone who was mentally abused. You would know of someone who had to scale walls and jump over balconies from the third floor to escape. Being in New York City, trying to get away from a situation, afraid to go to the police because I'm an undocumented immigrant in this country. So this is why I say my journey has been very colorful, very, very colorful. But I continue to move on. I continue to operate day to day, but nobody could see the pain on the inside. So many of us are walking around and we are wearing masks. Long before there was the pandemic, we were wearing masks because we were not showing up as ourselves. We show up, but it's not us. And we go through. And at some point in time, everything that is fermenting inside, as I said, is going to escape. It's going to start oozing out physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. It's going to start coming out. So why not do the work? A lot of people say, oh, my past is my past. But as the song says, as I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I've got a testimony. I would not have a testimony had I not gone through tests. Similarly for you. So don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Give yourself permission to really show up in your authentic self. No more faking, no more hiding, no more masking. Just be you. Just be you. Every time we turn on the television or you go on social media, somebody's out there telling their story. But with all of the pain and the hurt and the suffering, you do have stories that bring joy. Look at me this evening on this platform, telling my story. This is a joyous occasion. I met a wonderful group of people. Last July, I traveled to Toronto because I met them online when I joined a Toastmasters club. Again, thanks to the pandemic, we were able to join clubs all over the world. I have been blessed to speak in Saudi Arabia, Kenya, Uganda, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Island, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago. I've been able to give presentations all over the world and meet some amazing people online. So last July, I decided to spend my birthday and meet some of those people that I had only met online. It was a beautiful week. And as a result, 5 of us from that group, all still Toastmasters, we are now collaborating on our first book. On our first book. I can't say anything more as yet for legal reasons. Yes, the book is not yet published. We are in that publication process at this time. Had it not been for the pandemic, I may not have gotten the opportunity. I may not have met them from Haiti and from Toronto. And me here, here in Maryland in the United States. So a lot of doors are opening up. A lot of doors are opening up, and I am graciously walking through in humility because I'm giving myself permission to be transparent, to be authentic, to be bold, and to tell you who I am. And I am inviting others to do the same. So again, during the pandemic, I always wanted to be a public speaker, not just a public speaker, but a speaker that people will want to hire. I want after they hear me, they must ask themselves, would I pay her to be on my platform? Would I pay her to speak at my event, at my company? Would I call her in to do training for my group? I always wanted to do that. So I continue to develop my craft. And then JenFer, not Jennifer, but JenFer Heart and Soul was birthed last September, a platform for storytelling, for real conversations. It's not for the faint in heart. Now, I'm not saying that your story cannot be one of all joy, because everyone, as I said, would have had a different experience in their lives. Some people, they will sit and they say, wow, she went through all of that. He went through all of that. They can't identify with anything like it. But if you want to have a real conversation, that's the platform. So September 16th will be the 1 year anniversary. A 1 year anniversary, and it will be an in-person event in Seat Pleasant, Maryland, at St. Margaret's Catholic Church in Seat Pleasant, Maryland, 408 Addison Road South, Seat Pleasant, Maryland, 20745. The early bird tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, and the early bird tickets are $25, $25, and that early bird sale ends June 29th. And after, from June 30th, it will be $35. Two powerful storytellers, a sumptuous breakfast, which will be prepared and served by Chef Omelette. And you and I met Chef Omelette the
Yes.
first time in January. Yes, I was really, really impressed with the spread and how he was able to execute everything. So I reached out to him. So Chef Omelette will be there. Yes. Breakfast will be served from 10 to 11 only. 1 hour. He's going to cook and serve. My goal is 50 attendees. We would have four vendors because it's a small space and I want to make sure that everyone goes home with money in their pockets. Yes, it's not going to be a day of just all storytelling. It would be a day to bring men and women together to connect. We would connect, we would talk and laugh and share our differences as well as our similarities. But it will be a treat. It truly, truly would be a treat. I'm excited about that. Yes, yes.
I
What
am I am truly excited about it, JenFer, because when when we started talking that night, and when we met in the lobby, well, in the little area that the event was going to take place. We was at setting up our tables. And I said to you, and I love the fact, because what I shared with you, you didn't go on and execute it. Because I
yes,
told you I saw that in you. And this is what upfront mind, body, and soul is all about. I love the way that he's the gift, his gift that he uses to place it without me to encourage others to move forward and grow and move into their now. Because I said, have you ever thought about doing an anniversary? And she's acting on it now. Let me tell you, that's even less than a year, you almost said, because this was in January when I said this to you. On matter of fact, it was the 20th, 21st,
yes,
January the 21st. You're executing what I spoken to you in September of this year. So that's what I'm talking about. And again, I'm telling you, audience, you definitely do not want to miss this event. um JenFer, I'm so glad that you're here. And let's see, look, when you said about Toastmasters, I'm gonna speak something else. And if this comes, this is a I'm gonna speak. I see you on TEDx.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I've heard
So
that before.
I see you on TEDx.
Yes. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Queen Michelle. You said something powerful that, and this is how I receive it. Yes, you did give me encouragement. And remember, I was very timid. I was skeptical. I said, well, I don't know how to do this. I'm not good at social media. I don't know how to, I'm not tech savvy. I said, but you said it's the first anniversary. You want to do something big. You want to do something nice. And I thought about it. I thought about it. So, yes, this is the beauty of when people come together, like minds, and we use our words and we use our voice to build up instead of tearing down. There
Yes.
is room for each and every one of us to share our gifts. So don't be, and I'll use the word stingy. Don't be selfish. Don't be jealous. Don't be envious. If you encounter someone, and when you meet people and there's an encounter, that is divine. That was designed to be that way, because you meet people, smile, hi, hi, and that's it. And you meet sometimes you meet a person, and you know right away this connection is different. This connection is different. When this happens, this is my opportunity to nurture this. This is my opportunity to support when I can. And of course, everybody is not able to support everything. There
Exactly.
is so much that is happening all around. I thought the pandemic would have slowed lives down, but no. We continue to be that little hamster running around. So I had to create time to breathe. And that idea came from my mentor. She said, I want you, starting today, set aside an hour every day to just sit in silence. I said, and do what? She said, just sit in silence. Michelle, it was a miserable feeling, because I'm sitting in silence, I'm in my own space, but yet still the noise is so powerful all around and within me. But I'm supposed to be sitting in silence. And by the fourth day, she explained to me that it's a new habit, it's a new practice, and be patient with myself. And I'll be there scrolling. She said, no texting, no television, no reading. You just sit there. She said, because you keep saying this is a gift that you were given. Okay, well, ever so often you have to go back to the gift giver. You have to commune with the gift giver, and you have to wait now on your next assignment. And I said, ooh, you went deep on me. So by day four, she says, yes, it's going to take shape and form. Just be patient with yourself. And I'm saying, okay, Lord, I'm not hearing anything. Are you here? But as I said that, Michelle, during those 8 dark months, where I felt that I was in a hole, it was lonely, it was cold, it was stinky, and I was all by myself. And each day I felt as if the hole was just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't know about you, but there's nobody that I invite to my pity party that shows up. So when it's a pity party, you dear, you have to wrestle that out by yourself.
All by yourself.
And at
Yeah.
the end of the 8th month, still wasn't aware it was depression. Eh? At the end of the 8th month, I clearly heard a voice asking if I'm ready to come out. I spun around because I know I'm here working and I'm by myself. So who's talking? And then the imagery of a hand stretched out. And with tears running down my face and all kind of fluids coming out of both of my nostrils, the voice asked if I don't think I'm in this hole for too long enough. And I remember stretching my hand out and I said, yes, yes, I'm ready to come out. And I stretched my hand up. I grasped that outstretched hand, and as if I got a pull, and that pull pulled me out. That was my experience for 8 of those dark months. Now, you will tell me that I didn't need to seek help. You're going to tell me that I don't need to be present and willing for my healing process. Yes, I have no choice. It's not a flash, turn on the switch. Yeah, every one of us would not have that Paul Saul conversion, that Paul Saul breakthrough. Life is a process. Healing is a process. Forgiveness is a process. Loving is a process. Everything is a process. So healing for me is not a microwave experience. It's a daily process. Do I have my low moments? Yes. But then I remember, okay, in 3 days he rose. So I will say, okay, Lord, this is my third day. I am praying that tomorrow I'll rise up out of this funk. So it's a continuous work. but it's work that I'm willing to do. It's work
That's
that I'm willing to do because
that's it.
nobody wants to be around you. If I don't take care of me, I may not be aware that when I'm in a space with you, whatever is whatever is happening in me, I am preventing and choking you from being your best self. And I can't understand why it is all of a sudden Michelle sees me and she turns the other way. It's that residue, that stuff. So, yes, we have to clean ourselves. We clean the outside, we have to make time and put in the work to clean the insides as well. And that's when and where our stories would birth. Now, everybody may not get healing, receive healing by being transparent and telling their story. But as I said, this is a ministry for me. So, this is what I am called to do. I tell my story, I get my release continues, and I encourage others, share your story. If you don't want to share it on a public platform, share it with share it with someone. Share it with someone. Just release it. Just let it go. You feel so much lighter. You begin to be able to embrace joy. When I feel good, I could give joy, I can receive joy. I can give love, I can receive love. I can be joy. I can be love. But I can be love and joy if it's so much evil that is in my mind, my attitude. I'm dressed pretty, and when I open my mouth, you say, her inside does not match her outside at all. No, I want to be able to connect with you on a deeper level, whether we use words or we just embrace each other. We can connect.
Well, JenFer, I thank you so much. So, listen, everyone, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to wrap up because look, we are at the end of season 4. But listen, there will be some exclusives until we come back in full time. Again, JenFer just said it best. I always go back to replenish. I always go back to the beginning to replenish because there are a lot of people who count on this ministry as a show, and I want to make sure that it's being effective, and I want people to grow into that. So we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to wrap up with the end in a few shakes. So just grab on, stay on, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I am your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond, and I am here with my friend, sister friend, JenFer C. Ferguson. JenFer has gave us some options on how we can help others. It is by sharing and becoming a storyteller using our authentic selves, and that's what makes it to connect. So, JenFer, again, I'm going to share, if anyone want to reach out to her, there is her email where you can reach out to her. You can have her to come to share her story. You can actually have her to come and do a workshop for you. And when you said that too about connecting, because in that weekend we were together, you also got a, um, a proposal.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. When you connect it and you know that you're connected, but I also say when you say it was 8 months, and we know that new number 8, it circles around to new beginnings. So you have walked in a new beginning and a new era in your life. And I'm just so happy that our paths have crossed.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I am so happy
Mhm.
that our paths have crossed. And tell the audience again, when is the date and where will the event be for September the 16th?
It's Saturday, September the 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And my social media is Heart, Heart, and Soul, and ANDSOUL, Heart and Soul Speaker.com.
All right. So you have heard it here from Miss JenFer. And Miss JenFer, I want to say thank you so much for saying yes. Because I always tell people when they say yes to me, they're saying yes to God. So many blessings to you and your endeavors and things to come. I know you're going to do well because you're international, honey. You're international, Canada, the Haiti, all over, international. So, again, audience, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your support and this season 4. And we're gonna, like, again, I have to go replenish because I want to make sure what I'm bringing you is effective. And again, we need rest, and I need to go back to get what I need to get to keeping doing what I'm doing. But there is rest that needs to be coming up because there's some new things that'll be coming up, back in the studio with music. Working on a documentary. So yes, it's settle down time to buckle down to get these things that will be needed to get done. So, but again, there will be one feature a month exclusive, of a certain guest until we come back full time in September. But again, we are also looking for, if you have any ideas, any things that you want to see here for season 5 that's coming up, because you know what, I'm going to celebrate. We're going to open up season 5 with a shebang bang bang for season 5, and new things going to become new co-hosts. We're going to have some more other things that's going to be coming up. So yes, upfront mind, body, and soul. We are moving ahead. We're going to take a break, but we're going to miss you guys. But you can always go back and catch a replay on the YouTube channels, on the lives. Just thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it.
Give me an opportunity, please, Michelle. I gave the incorrect information. My
That's
Facebook page is JenFer, heartandsoul.com. JenFer, heartandsoul.com. And yes, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, don't be ashamed to share your pain. Don't be ashamed to share your story. There is purpose in our pain. I don't know about you, but my backpack is much lighter now. All those things that I was carrying in my backpack for decades. And sometimes we use our pain as a conversation piece. No, it does not bring healing that way. When you share your story and you tell your pain, yes, I'm not the only one who was physically abused. So someone else who is hearing my voice out there, they would be able to identify male or female and said, oh my goodness, I was raped too. Yes, yes, pain does not, it's not just for a selected few. So many of us, if only we would be willing and be brave enough, be bold enough to just start vomiting everything that we have buried that has been unpleasant. I kept it in for so long, and guess what? It's affecting my health big time now. But where there is life, there is hope. And as I told you, I'm on that healing path. So the more opportunities I get to tell my story, is the lighter my backpack is coming. So then I'll be able to stand straight. I won't be walking hunched over and allowing others to walk on my back to get on the other side. No, no, no. We can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm no expert. I am no expert. Just a simple Caribbean woman. I won't tell you my age. That is just seeking healing from my past hurts, shame, betrayal, just seeking healing. and my healing is coming through storytelling. So you go down in the valley and find out where your healing is going to start, where it will come from. Yes, we can't live only on the mountaintops. Sometimes we have to go down in that valley to get what we need. And as we go down in the valley and we come up, then we begin to rise and we can truly be our best selves. Michelle, thank you.
You're so
It's been a
welcome.
pleasure.
See, she got the fire. Look, we turn it out. She got the fire. Her last minutes to say she had the fire. So thank you again, and we'll definitely connect. And I will also, if you're giving out door prizes, I will offer something from my I will offer you something to give
Yes.
out
Yes. Two of the vendors said
for the event. Yeah, for
they
the
were
event.
giving out door,
Yeah,
they will give me door prizes as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely got you. I
Okay.
got you.
Thank you.
We connected now. So
Yes. 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 Yes.
so, everyone, again, we're wrapping up on season 4. Again, I want to say thank you so much for your support. Those who have supported this podcast this year, this season so far. Listen, we're still going to be around, but look, as my sis said here, I have to go to where I got to go back to the giver to get it replenished and refilled for what's coming up for the season.
Absolutely.
So just count it
Absolutely.
that, just go back and follow and share. Um, I'll actually be having someone monitor some of the shows, past and previous shows to be coming on for the weekly. So I just want you to keep it, and I ask that you keep us in prayer, keep me in prayer.
Yes.
As I move forward and moving more with this, because there's a big major project when you talk about healing that's going to take effect. Healing is going to take effect with the couple projects that I got going on that's working on now. So, again, I thank you guys for your support. Thank you, JenFer, for coming on tonight. And as my weekly mantra, as I said to those here at Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, just know that if you have never been felt that you are loved, just know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. See you in season 5 in 90 days coming. So look forward to the announcements. It'll be coming back. If the Lord doesn't tarry now to take us on up out of here, we'll be right back. But just know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul.